Hello, my name is Raushan and I'm recording this video on 2nd of January 2024. And if I have uploaded this video on YouTube, it means that finally I'm courageous enough to upload a video on internet. Well, why I'm recording this video is to talk about the books I have read in 2023, and not particularly about the books I have read, but I wanted to introduce myself here on this platform. I'm self learning English. English is my second language. I'm from India, Bihar, and I'm third year student of English. If I make some mistakes and mispronounce some words, please forgive me because you know uh, I have been watching YouTube for such a long time, and I was thinking maybe I should also upload my videos. And I came through many self improvement videos where those guys talked about how important it is to actually talk, right? And if you're not going to talk, there is no way you can improve. So I hardly get a chance to talk with anybody in my colony or at my work to talk in English. We just speak Hindi or Bhojpuri. And yeah, I wanted to talk about my insecurities of camera. I'm a very camera conscious person. You know, my lips quiver whenever I'm speaking in front of a camera, but I have been practicing before uploading these videos. I think that is a long introduction, right? Maybe I should just start talking about the books I have read. Yes. So, the first book which I read in the beginning of 2023 is Small Things Like This by Claire Keegan. Uh, it is an Irish book recommended by one of my favorite actor, Killian Murphy. And man, somebody is recommended, when something is recommended by my favorite artist, I can't stop reading. I wanted to read more from his recommendation, but this is only book which I could get my hands on. So yeah, it's a very short read. I think just 110 pages are there, and you can read it in a single day. So yeah. The second book, well, the reason I purchased the whole box set of Harry Potter was to get used to reading. Before 2023, the only thing I had read was manga. I had never read. Actually, I had read, but mostly for I should make one thing clear that I'm not a deep thinker. I just read for my entertainment, just for pleasure reading. Even though I'm an English student, third year literature student, I have hardly read anything of my syllabus. I can't get my head around William Shakespeare or any of those writers, man. It's so difficult to read. So I just doing pleasure reading, and along with that I want to improve my language. Hopefully I can. So the second book, the whole series which I read was Harry Potter. Why I decided to purchase the whole book? Because man, this is my childhood. I remember watching films with my cousins, and that those were good old days. So I wanted to experience it in text. Actually, I bought the first book and then bought the whole box set. But right after reading the first book, Harry Potter, I went and bought Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I can't even spell his word, but I read it. You know, uh, the reason I started reading Crime and Punishment was because of internet. I had heard a lot about him, about his writing, and I do like depressing stuff. I do like to read literature where the main character is disturbed, or I I got into it right away. Like, his writing style was very easy to read, I would say. Actually, I haven't read much from him. This is the only book I have read. So I don't know much about it, but this was very interesting. And this year, in 2024, I'm looking forward to read more from him. And I don't think I need to introduce this book, a very famous one, I think. But yeah, this was very dark, and I was really disturbed how much I enjoyed this book. And then I read continuously three books. Book two of Harry Potter, three and four. I think it took me 2 months of finishing these three books, and it was such fun read. I didn't have to put much effort whenever I was traveling or going anywhere. I was just carrying this book, and yeah, I was able to read it almost every place at every place. And then I read this cute little book. It's not actually cute, by George Orwell, Animal Farm. And why I decided to read this book was because of Lex Friedman, this podcast guy. He's he's also a Russian, I think. Yes, I'm sure he's from Russia. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I got to know about this from one of his recommendation. Even recommended 1984. uh, I have read so much manga that this was not new to me. But and my political point of view, I don't have a big brain. I believe I have that monkey brain. I'm not able to comprehend uh, capitalism. I can't even say those what do we say, ideologies properly. So this was very challenging to read, even though the book was very short. It was not challenging. The text were very easy, but I think the way it was written, I watched some essays on YouTube. Then I thought that maybe I didn't understand this book. And then another internet recommendation, The Stranger by Albert Camus. I don't know I'm saying the name correctly or not, but yeah, I, I enjoyed reading Crime and Punishment, and so did this one. I'm looking forward to this year, man. Like, I want to read more from both of these authors, and I have already read one book from Kafka, Metamorphosis. And yeah, so this year I'm going to read some more depressing literature. And then after A Stranger, I continued reading, you know, Harry Potter, and I finished three books maybe in 2.5 months. It was really fun reading, and I just said I was able to read this wherever I was going. It was not big deal. The text was so easy to understand. And then uh, in my third year of in my third year, I have to read four novels, and one of them is A Passage to India by E.M. Foster. And I always thought that my literature books are going to be boring, but boy, was I wrong. This was so easy to read. Like, I remember my struggle with studying or reading poetry, but then this was so fun to read, and the way it was written, it was so easy. The book, the book is set pre-independence era of India, and written by E.M. Foster. I love the main character Aziz. I think he was kind of relatable. And then there were some things which I didn't understand, especially because I have never studied the history of my own country, and I'm very bad at history. But this was a really fascinating story, and I did watch the film afterwards, and I think the book is far better than the film. And then another George Orwell, 1984, uh, written in dystopian manner, and I think I also misunderstood this book. I had to watch, but it was really fun to read. I really love that love story era of the main character, arc. I would say era, the arc of love story, and yeah, it was another challenging read, I would say, because of the way it was written, and I had to watch another Lex Friedman, I would say, lecture that why this one is his favorite. But I understand the kind of person he is. I understand why this was. this is his one of favorite book. So so far, I think I have mostly read fiction, and I continued, and this time Hobbit. I bought the Lord of the Rings set. Hobbit was in it, and yeah, it was so easy. I think I read it in 3 or 4 days because the text was so easy, and it was such a fun. I remember watching film when I was 12 or 13 with my friends, and that was really fascinating and amazing watch. But while reading the book, I was wondering why the hell there were three films. But the book was really easy and fun read. Then I continued reading The Lord of the Rings, the first book, The Fellowship of the Ring. The text is little challenging in comparison to The Hobbit. I know The Hobbit is written for literally for kids, but this book, man, it's so amazing. I don't have to talk about this book, right? It is pure fiction. And then another book for my syllabus, Untouchable by Mulk Raj Anand, and here I was proved wrong again that my syllabus books are boring. And I got a question from my friend that he was explaining that this book was a propaganda by Gandhiji. I don't know about that, but I'm actually I have to reread it again. Reread it. Maybe when my exams are near, I'm going to read it, or or maybe I need to just watch some lectures on it. Then I got a second hand book, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, and boy, this was such a fun read. You know, considering the theme of the book, the way it is written is amazing. I'm not articulate enough to describe this book, but boy, did I laugh? Did I cry? This book made me cry actually. Harry Potter actually did, but I cried reading this book, especially the ending, and I was laughing out loud. This doesn't really happen when I'm reading a book. And I love stories where the story is told by a kid's point of view. I remember reading a manga called Sunny. I don't remember the author name. Such a goofy manga and fun to read, and this book kind of reminded me of it. It was no way similar than that, but I think both of the stories are told by a kid's point of view. And yeah, it was such, I read it like I didn't have to actually concentrate, or it was so easy to read. And then I would say one of the challenging books of December, Kanthapura by Raja Rao. This is another book for my syllabus my syllabus, and yeah, this was the most challenging one in comparison to the previous two books I have read, A Passage to India and Untouchable. It shares a similar theme or genre of Untouchable, but it is, the sentences are very long, you know uh, and it is written in a manner where it feels like somebody is telling a story. Telling a story, I don't know how to say it, but it feels like somebody is actually saying the story. So it is understandable why the book is written in this manner, but this was a little challenging, especially the introduction part. But I love the thought process of the author. And then last two books, uh, this one, Meditation by Marcus Aurelius. I wasn't able to finish this book, but this is a kind of book which you don't read in a single go. You have to carry this book all the time, and philosophy is not easy to get into. And then my all-time favorite book, The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. uh, i re- I reread it couple of times this year, and I'm looking forward to read his collection this year in 2024. So this video was not scripted at all, and yeah, this I was just itching that I'm just going to not record any video, and I was really insecure that what if it turns out bad. But I'm recording this video on my laptop. I don't know about the sound quality. I don't know how to edit videos, so I'm just going to directly upload it. If I uploaded it, hopefully I don't delete it. I'm not going to delete it, and yeah, this was this is a long video, 15 minutes. So yeah, bye.